I'm unlocking 6 reasons why Airbnb hosts are quitting the platform. Let's get into it. Now, before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you are an Airbnb host or if you're interested in becoming an Airbnb host. But if you know someone who recently left the Airbnb platform, drop that down in the comment section below and the reasons why they left. All right, I would love to get that feedback. And if you like this content and you feel that it's valuable to you, be sure to hit that like button. All right, let's get started. So I'm unlocking the 6 top reasons why Airbnb hosts are actually quitting, all right, and leaving the platform. Now, the first and foremost, the most important one is the regulatory challenges. Now, I made a video a couple weeks back about SB 280, which is Senate Bill 280. Now, that bill really, it's putting more restrictions and regulatory restraints on the state of Florida short-term rental market. And Florida is not the first one to do this. Georgia, Atlanta, they added a lot of restrictions in the city of Atlanta when it comes to short-term rentals. New York recently did so, and they got rid of a lot of the Airbnb options there, requiring the owners to actually live in the property while they're Airbnb if they wanted Airbnb. So that was crazy. California recently came up with Senate Bill 584 in California, which is an additional 15% tax on top of the tax that they already was taxing. And so that's for the whole state of California. So a lot of these states are really adding a lot of regulatory challenges to the Airbnb market, and it's causing a lot of hosts to actually exit the industry. The second reason, increased competition. Now, while we have a lot of people leaving the actual Airbnb platform because of all the different challenges, we also have increased competition with a lot of people getting into the Airbnb industry. Now, as the #1 Airbnb listings continues to grow, hosts may face increased competition for bookings. Now, this can lead to lower occupancy rates, reduced probability or profitability, and the need for continuously adjusting the pricing strategies to remain competitive. Now, and that's very accurate. See, here in the state of Florida, they have whole communities that they're building for short-term rentals, and these communities are resort-style communities, of course. And within these communities, you have a saturation of short-term rentals, right, or villas. But within these communities, what happens is, as a homeowner goes and buys one of these investments, not to say that there are bad things, but you want to just be mindful of the resort fees that are associated with this. Now, we just so happen to have an investment in a resort community, and so we're very familiar with the resort fees. And so most of these resort style communities, they have their own property management that they want to manage the property with, which is not a bad thing, but based on our experience, the property management has not kept up with the projections that they sold to sellers in these different communities. And so our Airbnb in this resort style community is actually the highest and best performing short-term rental unit in that community. And with that being said, you have a lot of sellers who are unpleased with the return, and in some cases they're not receiving a return because their units are having a hard time to be booked. And so therefore you have a lot of sellers who are actually trying to sell their properties in this resort style community. And so you just want to be mindful of the actual resort fees. You also want to get just feedback and look at the reviews for the property manager before going into these resort style communities. Now, this is a direct competition with the regular Airbnbs. Some communities do not allow you to do Airbnbs, and you have to go through their management in order to rent them out. And I would say I would leave my options open. Airbnb is still a very good platform, and again, our Airbnb in this resort style community is outperforming all the other short-term rentals, and it's a lot of rentals in same type units in this community, but except the owners who are trying to do short-term rental or Airbnb on their own, a lot of them are missing some of the tips. So the other video that I made about how to keep your Airbnb booked, number 3, changes in the Airbnb policies. This one is a big one. All right, and one of the obvious changes that we've seen and we was affected by was the cancellation policy. Now, Airbnb, they make updates and changes to their policies on a regular basis. And if you don't stay up to date on these changes, you could catch the short end of the stick. And so with one of the recent changes that they made was onto the cancellation policy. And what happens is when they made the change and we didn't go in and adjust our listings, Airbnb listings, they automatically set our policy to the default, which is a flexible policy. And with the flexible policy, that means the guest can cancel and get a full refund up until I think the day before check-in or whatever. So we had guests to cancel, and we realized, like, why are these guests all getting full refunds when they're canceling last minute? And so we went and seen where there was a change made to the policy, and all of our listings were changed to a default setting. And so we had to go back and change the setting. And with that, because they have some disclosures that they want to disclose when you do these other settings. And so it's just very important to stay up to date on the different changes to the policy that they're making on a regular basis. Another recent policy they made that affected a lot of sellers were the cameras, right? No cameras, Airbnbs. And so when that policy came out, you had a lot of hosts that got upset. And I'm a part of a couple of different chat groups, and I noticed a lot of hosts decide to leave the platform because of those changes. Now, I will be doing a video talking about the no camera policy, just to give a little bit more transparency of what that is, because it's not exactly what a lot of the hosts think it was. And I think that if you look at it from both sides of the point of view, it has some real relevancy of why those policies were put in place for the no cameras. Number 4, I think this was a big one, maintenance and management challenges. I think all hosts, when you're first getting started on the Airbnb platform, I think all hosts go through maintenance and management challenges. It's very important that you have very good cleaners for your Airbnbs, because cleaners can really like kill your business. If you have the wrong cleaners, they can really kill your business. It doesn't take many cleans for them to do that. So hosting does require ongoing maintenance, cleaning, guest communication, and this can be very time consuming and stressful in a lot of cases. All right, especially when you have multiple properties and you have a busy schedule. So this can be very time consuming. So for those who think that having an Airbnb business, all right, is passive income, no, got news flash for you. It does not. It does require a lot of your time. Not a lot of your time, but it does require your time, attention, and definitely communication with the guests. Now, there are a lot of different platforms that you can utilize and incorporate for your Airbnbs to sort of minimize the actual communication that you need. But there will be instances where you have to step in. Listen, on Christmas of 2024, actually 2023 Christmas, me and my wife, we spent Christmas with our daughter cleaning an Airbnb because the communication did not go out to the cleaners for the schedule change, for the reservation that we had a booking that somebody was checking out early on Christmas and somebody else was checking in on Christmas. That communication didn't go out to the cleaners. And so we woke up that morning on Christmas after opening up our Christmas gifts. I've noticed that I didn't get notification that somebody was in the driveway or anything as far as like a text message going out and, like giving instructions for check-in. And I'm like, man, it normally goes out every morning. So what's going on with the cleaners? Did the cleaners go out to the property this morning? And my wife looked at it and she's like, oh man. And so long story short, we packed up and headed over to the Airbnb, and we had to do cleaning on Christmas. And so hey, that comes with the territory. So I'm here to tell you that as much as you want it to be a passive income business, it is not as passive as you may think. So having the proper expectations on what type of passive income you want, you may want to reconsider if you're looking 100% passive income in Airbnb, because it is not that. All right. If somebody doesn't show, you will have to show in order to keep your business, in business, to keep your Airbnb business going. Other than that, you will get negative reviews, and that is not what you want. Number 5 is financial considerations, right? While hosting on Airbnb can be lucrative, it also involves financial risks and uncertainties. All right, fluctuation in demand, changes in the market conditions, unexpected expenses can impact hosts' bottom line and make it less attractive, all right, to continue hosting. I think a lot of hosts are experiencing this, especially with the increased property taxes, the increased home insurance. All right, my rule of thumb for every Airbnb, you want to have a $10,000 reserve. I know it's tough, right? Will you need the full $10,000 for a reserve? More than likely not. But to be on the safe side, you do want to have a $10,000 reserve. I think for the most expensive that we've incurred the past 2 years on Airbnb have been a pool pump, a pool heater, and we have budgeted for a new AC unit in one of our Airbnbs, and then we also have budgeted for a new roof on one of our Airbnbs. And so the new roof, that will cost more than $10,000. That will be about $14,000 for the new roof. And so if you don't have the position to have like $10,000 in reserve, I do recommend that you drop a comment below about automated banking. All right, drop a comment that says automated banking. We will put you on our automated banking waiting list. That is an investment strategy solution that you want to actually just go through, because that's going to help prepare you for how to align your finances appropriately for any investment. All right, and having the proper reserves, have the proper financing and the backing, just access to capital. All right, and that's going to teach you how to make sure you have those proper reserves in place. That's the automated banking. I will be releasing that this year. It's supposed to be released last year, but some things came up, the market changed, had to make some adjustments to the strategy to make sure it aligns with the current market. And so this year we will be releasing the automated banking investment solutions. All right, and so make sure you drop that comment below for the join our wait list. And so so outside of that, right, the financial considerations, man, with the insurance, like you can get hit with the insurance company can drop their premium. We've had that happen before, and then the replacement premium can be like through the roof. And so we've had to take the time to find other competitive premiums to replace our insurance premium. The property taxes have been going up, so we've seen our debt services on several of our Airbnb homes actually increased by, one of them increased by $1,000. Two other ones increased by like $500, and this is monthly. So to have these big increases, if we didn't have a good profit margin on these Airbnbs, it could have some big financial constraints on our cash flow. And so that's another big one to consider. The financial considerations why some Airbnb hosts are leaving the platform. All right, and then the last one is quality of guests. Man, this one is a big one, the quality of guests, because you can get frustrated as a host when you encounter Airbnb guests that do not respect your house rules. They have poor communication, or they have unreasonable demands. So the key and the important part to having a successful experience with Airbnb and the quality of guests is understanding seasons within the market. What I mean by seasons is that you need to know when your peak season is, and you also need to know when your slow season is. Then the rule of thumb is this: you want to be the last to be booked during peak season. You want to be the first to be booked during the slow season. And if you don't know the seasons, then you're going to be behind the curve every time. And so it probably would take a 12-month calendar cycle for you to really understand your seasons in your area, because every season is going to be different depending on the location of your Airbnb. And so our first year, we got hit bad with being behind on the seasons, and it cost us. And we had our share of bad quality of guests. But what I did realize that during the course of this time, there was a trend that normally the bad guests showed signs, and signs that we didn't know were signs at first, but we learned afterwards, okay, all these bad guests, they had signs. And signs were for one, there was last minute bookings. That's a clear sign that possibly bad quality guests. Two, no profile picture, or a very unprofessional profile picture. All right, that's like a telltale sign, right? The next one was the questions. Most of them always had a lot of questions about the Airbnb. That questions that the answers was already listed in the details. So a lot of them asked a lot of questions. A lot of them asked for discounts even after the property was already discounted. So, and then some of the discounts came in the form of they asked for included services, such as they wanted the pool heater to be included in the price, or they wanted the cleaning of the barbecue pit fee to be included in the price. They wanted in-stay cleanings during their stay. So these are some of the signs that, all right, these is going to be troubled guests or bad quality guests. And, just based on, your I want to say occupancy level, you may just take on the bad quality guests to fulfill, whatever financial obligations that's necessary, or you may have the opportunity to pass over these bad guests. And so because of that, year 2 of our Airbnbs, we had far less bad quality guests than we had in year 1, but we also we learned to discount the slow seasons way ahead of time, because when you understand the algorithm of your area and Airbnb, if you know that the average booking time for your area is like 2 months or 3 months, that's the time that you need to be like 3 to 4 months. You need to be out a little bit further than what they average. So if it's 2 months, you need to be running your discounts and have your price cuts for the slow season 3 to 4 months out, so you can be the first to book. Remember, you want to be the first to book during slow season, last to book during peak season. Peak season, we adjust prices up, and as we get closer, just depending on how many more days we have available, we're normally booked like 3 months out. We're currently booked 3 months out on all 5 of our Airbnbs. And so it makes a difference when you get 2 months out and you only have like 3 to 5 days maybe left available for your Airbnb. Yeah, you can increase the price, right? Because you're limiting who can occupy your price, who can occupy your unit. Now, when you're just getting started, I'm going to just inform you that 9 times out of 10, because they run a 20% discount on your new listing, you're probably going to get your share of bad guests during the first 3 bookings with that discount. And when you have the expectation that, okay, I'm probably going to get some bad guests, just have the mental like fortitude to you're gonna have to just eat it, right? You have to eat it, but you're gonna have to show like good customer service, because you need those 5-star reviews for your first 3 bookings. Again, if you want to know how to keep your Airbnb booked, make sure you go and watch the video I did on, I think it's the 10 tips on keeping your Airbnb booked, right? Those tips is going to save you. It's going to save you, and it also can save you a headache, all right, from having to experience bad quality guests. And I mean guests that, pull down all your smoke detectors and smoke out your house, put wet towels up under the doors. Just you come in your house and everything smells like marijuana, right? It's just the disrespectful level to the highest. So just to avoid that, make sure you go and watch the video on how to keep your Airbnb booked. All right. And don't let a quality of guests be a reason that you exit the Airbnb platform. Look, Airbnb can be very lucrative, right? It can be very lucrative, but I also can see collectively how these six items, right, could also, ruin your experience and force you to leave the industry. But I think individually, like none of these items individually, I think should be a reason for you to leave the actual platform. But I do think if your Airbnb is not profitable, I do think you should, for one, try to join the group, and also seek mentorship, because there are plenty of ways to make sure that your Airbnb are profitable, and plenty of ways to avoid the nuances of these 6 reasons that you have Airbnb hosts that are leaving the platform. Look, if you like this video, you like this content, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to see more content like this, or if you're an Airbnb host, or you are interested in becoming an Airbnb host, make sure you click that subscribe button and share this channel and video with 3 other people who may be interested in getting an Airbnb or becoming a host or investing in short-term rentals. All right. Again, if you are interested in buying an Airbnb or selling an Airbnb in the state of Florida or Georgia, make sure you hit my line directly, 786-277-1190, or you can send me a text message, say Airbnb purchase or Airbnb sell. All right, I'm Emmett Combs, your Airbnb specialist, and we'll see you on the other side.